British government is taking legal action against Elon Musk's AI tool Grok for generating fake explicit photographs of people. Women in the U.S. now saying explicit images of themselves without their knowledge have appeared online. ABC's Mike Dubusky.
This could also be in violation of the recent Take It Down Act, which was a measure passed by the president in May of last year, which criminalizes the distribution of this non-consensual pornography, including deepfake pornography online.
New research in the British Medical Journal shows that stopping weight loss drugs like Wegovy can lead to faster weight gain than traditional diets.
Doctors say there's evidence even short-term weight loss can have health benefits and lower your risk for cardiovascular disease. But a new study shows those who can't tolerate GLP-1s, either because of the cost or the side effects, are more susceptible to gaining the weight back than those on traditional weight management programs. Part of it could be those on the drugs never learned the coping skills to deal with food cravings when they return. Doctors are hoping a lower maintenance dose, even if it has to be taken for life, can keep the weight off. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
China's Commerce Ministry says it will investigate Meta's acquisition of artificial intelligence startup Manus. The Facebook parent announced last week that it was buying Manus, a Singapore-based company with Chinese roots, in a bid to expand its AI offerings across its platforms. The ministry says it wants to be sure the acquisition follows Chinese laws. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It's now 5:05, and with your KVNU local headlines, I'm Will Feelright. Well, a complicated crime scene and uncooperative witnesses have reportedly been hindering the Salt Lake City Police Department's efforts to investigate that shooting that happened outside funeral services at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints meeting house last night. Now, the shooting at the church parking lot left 2 people dead, 6 injured, including 5 who remained hospitalized with police protection. Now, investigators say that the shooting erupted from a dispute between people who knew each other and were attending a funeral. Now, no arrests have been made so far. Now, police said that they do not believe the shooting was random or motivated by any animus against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, earlier today, the victims were identified as Sione Veatu, a 38-year-old, along with Via Tuliki Hihifo, a 46-year-old. Now, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints meeting house is one that's typically used to host Tongan language services. Police say they will continue to investigate and will not rest until they bring justice. In other news, a judge ruling yesterday that some evidence will be admissible in the upcoming murder trial for Corey Richins that is scheduled to begin in February. Now, Richins is accused of fatally poisoning her husband, Eric Richins, with fentanyl back in 2022. The case had gained national attention after she authored a children's book about grief following his death. Now, during the evidentiary hearing yesterday, 3rd District Judge Richard Mrazek acted as a gatekeeper to determining which experts had met Utah's legal standards for reliability. Now, the judge ruled that a former FBI profiler, Molly Ammon, may testify about the pathway to violence, but only in a limited capacity. Now, the judge also cleared a forensic document analyst, Matt Throckmorton, to testify regarding handwriting analysis. Now, the hearing has continued today as the judge is hearing more testimony about specific evidence, including a walk-the-dog letter that had been found by jail deputies and an orange notebook that was found by investigators. And Girl Scouts across Cache Valley have kicked off their cookie season. Now, it started on Tuesday, debuting a new Rocky Road-inspired sandwich cookie called Explore Mores. Now, the new flavor, which features chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond-flavored cream, joins a lineup of staples, including Thin Mints and Samoas. Now, Marcia Campbell, the Cache Service Unit Manager, said that the new addition reflects the organization's focus on exploration and skill building. Now, the program serves as the primary fundraiser for the 14 Girl Scout troops in the Valley, with all of the proceeds remaining local, funding summer camps, STEM programs, and community service projects. Now, you can find ways to be able to order cookies by going to the Girl Scout Cookie Finder online, or you can also just text the word cookies to the number 59618. Well, these clouds have brought us some snow this afternoon as we've continued to see light snow falling outside the KVNU studios. Cherry Peak reporting that they haven't been able to announce an opening date yet, but it may be coming. And, of course, Beaver Mountain reporting over 9 new inches of snow early this morning. And we'll continue to see some light snow falling through the rest of the day as the storm pushes out of the area. That's going to leave us then with some cold temperatures tonight as we'll drop into the mid-teens. Tomorrow, a little warmer weather as we'll get into the mid-30s with a mix of sun and clouds, and then more sunny weather coming for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And weather this hour brought to you by Matt Robbins at Quality First Insurance, helping to protect your vehicle with hassle-free care and give you affordable insurance coverage and options. It's Matt Robbins. Give him a call today at 752-0101. And I'm Will Fielwright with your KVNU local headlines.
News Talk KVNU.
Everyone has an estate, but do you have an estate plan? This is Jace Allen, Northern Utah's estate planning attorney. At Allen Law Office, wills and trusts are what we do. If you've been putting it off, now is the time to get it done. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones, protect your legacy, protect your assets. Start today at cashlegal.com or just search Allen Law Office. Wills and trusts are what we do. Allen Law Office.
Got a fundraiser, charity drive, or nonprofit event coming up? Let us help spread the word. Send the details to calendar@cvradio.com and we'll share it with our community. From bake sales to benefit concerts to community celebrations, Cache Valley Media Group is here to amplify your efforts. We're proud to support the people and causes that make our community stronger. Email calendar@cvradio.com today and let's build a better, more connected community, one event at a time.
Friday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will break down the absolute latest in the ongoing chaos in Minneapolis as ICE is confronted by so many crazy left-wing protesters. Plus, Brianna Lyman will join us. It's an interesting 250th anniversary, and we're going to spend some time on a lot of these. We will discuss all that and more Friday edition. You won't want to miss it. Come hang.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
News for the people. Hour 2 of today's show. It is Thursday, January 8th. And, wow. What a difference a day makes, right? 27 degrees here at 5:11 in the afternoon. And snow on the ground. We didn't get it for Christmas, but here it is, right? And it'll be gone by next week. Again, as we mentioned yesterday, though, snowpack in northern Utah looking far better than it did a couple of weeks ago. Not necessarily out of the woods statewide, but definitely a rosier picture on water. We'll talk more about that later on in the hour. Starting things off here, though, we have a very special guest joining us. And this is perfect timing, of course. With the legislative session coming up in just a short period of time and running until the first week of March, we like to reach out to our lawmakers anyway and get a little preview of what they're working on for the session. But this specific interview today happened because a listener sent an email in, and originally I was just going to answer it. A listener said, I'd mentioned that several of Cache Valley lawmakers were getting some attention on various things, different issues, of course, that they're being asked to lead by legislative leadership, but also leadership roles. And I mentioned the words majority whip. And a listener said, what is that? What does a majority whip in a legislative body do? And I was just going to answer, and then I thought, no, it would be more fun to actually hear this from the Majority Whip himself. So joining us right now, we have State Senator Chris Wilson, who represents a district that is basically 95% of Cache Valley, other than a little sliver at the south end that belongs to Senator Scott Sandel's district, along with most of Box Elder County. Senator Wilson, appreciate you taking some time for us today. And is that an easy question to answer? Because I have an idea of what a Majority Whip does, but can you say it in a sentence or two? Because Majority Whip kind of does everything, right?
Yeah, and Jason, first, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity, to be on your great show. And it is a great question. And in fact, when I was approached, about a year and a half ago, by a senator reached out to me and said, "Hey, are you interested? We'd like to, have you run for leadership." And so he looked at the different things, and I actually looked up the word, and it's an old terminology. The old terminology is the Majority Whip would basically whip up votes for a specific bill. In modern terms, what it is the president of the Senate, who is Stuart Adams, and then underneath the president, then you have the majority leader, who is Senator Kirk Collimore. And then right underneath the majority leader is the Majority Whip. And I don't know if you want to say third, in I don't see, not really seniority, but in elected officials in the Senate, or elected leadership. And then underneath me is the assistant whip, who is Senator Mike McHale. But we do a number of different things. Obviously, we're involved with leadership, with decisions and everything. So it's kind of it's a great terminology. I've had many people ask me. I had to even look it up. And in fact, it's funny because one of the posters that I received from my wife, who's probably watching, is I have a poster in my office that's from the old Devo Whip It Good, the poster. And so, I love it. Also gave me a whip, an actual whip. So I have a whip on my, I've never used it yet, but also a poster of the old Devo. You remember that story, that song from the 80s?
I love that. Well. Whip It Good.
Whip It Good. And the old, I should have a TV with a continuous run of the old video, which was great. Awesome at the time too. So, but
I love that.
It's been an honor, privilege, and we serve at the will of the Majority Caucus. There are currently 22 Republican senators out of 29, and it's really been an honor and privilege. And it's a 2-year term. I'll be up again this fall, and planning on running again for this position. It's been great working. President Adams does an amazing job. Great leader, and Kirk Collimore is a great majority leader, and working with Mike McHale as the assistant whip's been awesome. So it's been a pleasure, and honestly, it's been great for District 2, which, as you mentioned, is most of Cache County. I can't forget my great constituents over in Rich County. Bear Lake's been an honor to be their representative, and then also it's amazing. Senator Scott Sandel, who represents the southern part of our wonderful valley, is the assistant executive appropriations chair, which is also in leadership. It's an appointed position. And so really you've got three, and then it's been great working with Representative Mike Peterson and also Representative Jason Thompson. We have just a great group, represents our valley very, very well. And if there's a discussion about something, one of us is involved.
Sure.
So, it's nice to I know there was always people concerned about our water. And, you brought up the water conditions and stuff. And I can tell you with the positions that we're in leadership, nobody needs to worry about Salt Lake coming up and taking our water. So, that's something that we want to protect and preserve, for our citizens.
And that's sort of the subtext on these leadership positions is influence of sorts. You have with you as Majority Whip, Representative Casey Snyder in the House as Majority Leader. You do have some influence over what gets prioritized, somewhat, right? Yes, I mean, ultimately the Speaker, and Casey's right underneath the Speaker, is the Majority Leader in the House. And then I've got the Speaker, and then I've got he's got the Speaker, I've got the Senate President. But we work together, and there's no question we're in on those leadership
discussions, and then also we go to the caucus, the 22 members, and we try and find consensus of where they want to be on a specific bill or subject, and then we go from there. So,
which sounds a lot easier than it is, right?
Yeah, we had 23 senators. Now we're down to 22, but I believe we'll get that Senator Thatcher resigned, and now I think it was a Forward Party member in there. But this fall we'll have an election there, and I have pretty good confidences that there will be a Republican in that district this fall. So hopefully we'll be back to 23 or even more. We'll see. But we have the majority caucus, but it'll also work very well with the minority caucus, and Senator Luz Escamilla is the minority leader, and she's just amazing. We have a lot of consensus on bills. I mean, I guess 80% of us is consensus bills in the Senate. So we do work together, and we appreciate the other side of the aisle and what they do to help also.
It's an amazing process to watch, and I encourage listeners to play along. I always like to put it this way: there are certain bills that are controversial, they'll get a lot of headlines and a lot of coverage, but the real work of the legislative session is kind of, I mean, it can be very boring stuff, very dry stuff, I should say, nuts and bolts stuff. Changing a word in taking a sentence out of an existing piece of statute, or adding a word here or there. But it's what makes the state run, and it's a constant evolving process. And Senator Wilson, maybe that's a great transition into some of the things you're working on this session, because you are. This is one of my favorite things about you as a lawmaker. Your bills are always kind of there. You don't. I can't remember you running a controversial bill. You have bills that are just making small changes here and there to make things work better. And maybe if you can start us off with, because I like this one. You have a bill a bill file you've opened that seeks to make a change to the way the state oversees and runs, and also provides accountability for our safe harbor laws. And if I understand correctly, this bill includes some clarification on privacy protections, right?
Yes, and Jason, I appreciate bringing that up. That is very, very important. I mean, I've been working very closely on the mental health. I'm on the Mental Health Commission. Been working. There's not a family that isn't affected by mental health and mental health crisis. And I would love to come on maybe after the session, talk about the mental health crisis center that we have, that we're able to get funded, that should be opening, I hope, this summer. And that is a facility to help northern Utah. We have, crisis. We have a lot of unfortunate suicides and different things. And I would love to come on and talk a little bit more about the crisis center that we have. But during that work also, we have the Firearm Safe Harbor amendments. There needs to be some clarifications, because we want to make sure that when somebody's in crisis, they can take their firearms, or a family member can, to a local law enforcement, and they can hold those weapons until somebody is out of the crisis or feels more comfortable. Very important.
Sure.
And what the problem is we worried that we started looking at I've been working on this bill for a couple of years. We may expand it. We're looking at some different things, but it's very important for this safe harbor amendment to get people, when they're in crisis, to be able to alleviate firearms or anything that may escalate somebody in a crisis mode. The bottom line is some of those were grammable.
Really?
And obviously, if somebody takes those in confidence to a firearm, then they shouldn't. We don't want people to be able to grammel and say, "Hey, Mr. So and so took his weapons. He's." And I hate to say it, but people are crazy and on and on. And so we're gonna work on that. The firearms industry has been very, very helpful in this. The law enforcement talked to them yesterday. They're very much on board. So it's kind of chipping away at a real problem throughout the state. Been working on some other areas of some gun safes and some other things, that we can bring to people's homes, as there's a grant program that we got through the federal government. So there's a lot of really good work in that area. And like I said, I've been happy to work since I've been in the legislature on, the mental health issues that are so prevalent in every family. And I had a gentleman in my office this morning talking about how great that crisis center is going to be for him and his family, where he's had to deal with a family member who has been in, had crisis mode, and taking them out to the emergency room at the hospital just doesn't work.
Sure.
And so, Bill, it's probably more than one to know. I'm excited about that, Bill. I got a lot of support there, and we're going to expand that, I think, in the next few years. So to help.
I'm excited to see that, and that crisis center, getting funded was such a big deal, and this bill, a great example again of, just the. So we see these headlines every session, right, Senator? That record number of bill files open, record number of bills passed, and I get that's that can be concerning. And even Senate President Adams has said, I don't know, maybe we're doing too much. But this bill that you have here, this Senate Bill 91, or excuse me, I got the wrong one here. The 86. It's a great example of the counter to that, where you're working on something else and you find out about this thing that happens, and by adding, like I'm looking here, it's like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 sentences being added to existing statute, and you protect someone from having their privacy violated if they have a mental health crisis. That's huge.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is huge. And like I said, we've got other areas we're working on. We're trying to, land that ship in a place, but this is the first thing that we all knew we needed to work on. There'll be more things we're working on. And Jordan Mathis from our Bear River Health Department's been very, very helpful. He's the one that came to me 2.5 years ago, I think, when we started working on this, knowing that we had some issues, not only in the Valley, but here in the state with people in mental health crisis. And so very, very pleased, with him, and here again, constituent input, with possibility, ideas of bills, which brings me into something, if you don't mind, Jason. I wanted to talk about my annual survey that I do every year.
Coming soon, right?
And it's coming out. I should have it out in the next day or two. And also let everybody know that Charlie Schill with CashValleyDaily.com.
That troublemaker.
Amazing. What he does is he does a story on it, and then there is a link that he puts in his story, and I hope he'll do it for me this year. I haven't actually talked to him, but hopefully he will. He has in the years past. That people can go in. I want people to go in and take that survey. I want feedback from people here in the Valley of what issues you're concerned about, what budget issues you want to see funding. I mean, do you want those types of issues that I do look and go through. And I've also included some questions that have to do with my bills. And you're right, we passed 575 bills last year, way too many, but that's our system. To be honest with you, I probably shouldn't tell you this, we have more bill files this year than we did last year at this time. So we'll see where that goes. I might be a problem child because I've got 14 bills right now. Too many. I picked up another one today. But
that's what happens when you're in leadership, right?
You get, but they're good policy. And Jason, that's what I've always tried to do. Is it's about good policy. And if it's going to help people and help our state, we're going to have a balanced budget this year. We've got some budget issues. There's a little bit tougher budget this year, but we're going to be fine.
Sure.
And I can talk about, we're still going to be funding education with a 4.2% increase in student WPU and weighted pupil average. And so anyway, the bottom line is it's going to be another great session. Please go in with a survey. Hopefully Charlie will do that story. Start watching for it on CashValleyDaily.com. I'll also be sending it out to all my people on my list where I send my newsletter out, send the survey out. If you want to be on that list, please text me or email me, and I can get you on my mailing list, and we can get that survey back, and we'd be ready for the session.
Very nice. That is so. Keep an eye out for that, and Senator, we'll make sure Charlie does it again.
I hope so. Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great writer. He really does. He does a good job.
He's fascinating to me, and and he loves getting word out on this. It's one of our favorite things here, and I never say this to be cryptic or scare people, but this is something that might not always be around. The accessibility of our legislature as states grow, it gets harder and harder. If you talk to anyone who's ever lived in the populous areas of California, or even parts of Colorado, it's harder and harder as populations grow to get in touch with your state lawmaker. Here in Utah, not so. You can reach out, email, call, and actually offer some feedback. But these surveys, you've said before, Senator, that these surveys have. You've gotten survey responses from your constituents in your district and changed your mind about a bill or rewritten huge portions of a bill because of that feedback.
Yep. And, especially when you're on the fence and also the comments. I get a lot of comments, and it takes me hours. I do my best to read every, comment if they have a comment on a certain thing. So, and I literally, a day barely goes by without a conversation with a constituent, seriously. Today I've had 5-6 meetings, and I've with different stakeholders, and I've also been on the phone a number of times with constituents. I've got more to call tomorrow. So trying to get back with everybody, because once the session starts, as you know, it's very, very difficult to find time to get back with people. But we're going to have a great intern, and we'll help. Emails, texts are still the best way if people get a hold of me. And believe me, if you Google, State Senator Chris Wilson. My number's there, 435-770-2861 is my cell phone, same one we're on right now. So appreciate it. And again, Jason, thanks for letting me take a few minutes, probably more minutes than usual. No, I always go over.
I love it. I was actually going to apologize. I feel bad because I think every time I say, hey, can I get 10, 15 minutes? And then I take 30. So I owe you, if anything. But and if you need, if you ever need somebody to say something mean about somebody else there in the Senate, you just let me know. I'd be glad to do it. Or in the House. Right. I'll say mean things about Casey if you need me to.
He is amazing. We are very lucky to have him as a majority leader. I'm telling you, it's great. It really, really helps our state, and he is an amazing legislator. Youngest majority leader ever. In the House. That is amazing.
It is. We had the Aggie takeover of the governor's office, and now it's the general Northern Utah takeover of the legislative leadership. I'm all for it.
It makes a difference. It really does. So I appreciate whoever your listener was that sent in that email. Thank you very much. I wish it was some great thing, but it was kind of an old terminology. Basically what it is you're underneath the majority leader and the president. So kind of third in line there, if you will. And like I said, it's will of the majority caucus that you serve, and it's an honor.
It makes us proud here in Cache Valley. To have elected officials, in leadership, moving up through leadership. It is an important job, not just being a lawmaker, but being in a leadership role. You do have, as Senator Wilson has told us, a lot of influence over priorities, but also problem solving. When there's a hiccup on a bill or an issue, that's when you're sent out. And it's really it says something about Cache Valley's elected officials that so many of them end up in leadership, right?
Yeah, and especially, to be honest with you, when you have been there a long time, and this is my 6th session, and then you get opportunities to go on trade missions. I was able to go to Canada, to Australia, to New Zealand on the governor trade mission, and Casey went with me on, and then also Senator Sandel was on those. So, I mean, to be there to meet with leaders from other countries, and it really, we're Utah. I'm telling you that Utah not only leads out in the country now, it is looked at around the world as leading. Somebody wants to be to work with our business community. Education is really well. We have some great higher institutions that do very well. And anyway, I could go on and on about the Aspire Center at Utah State.
Excited
I met with
about that.
professors from Auckland, New Zealand that came over here. And heard me speak a year ago at the Aspire conference. So, I mean, that and then we have, I won't go into it. I know we've limited on time, but love to talk a little bit more about all the great things going on in the Valley. We're very, very fortunate. We have great people, and the entrepreneurship mentality is why I think the state's doing so well. I think it helps a little bit of government. I won't go through all the we're number one state overall in economic outlook, all those types of things. I won't go through social mobility, but we got great people, and that definitely helps.
And even in downturns, especially Cache Valley, we seem to weather those well as well. Something's going right, to say the least. That is, Senator Wilson. When the session's over, we can entice you into coming back, and we'll talk more about the crisis center that you helped get funded here in northern Utah and the economy at large. But really appreciate you giving us so much of your time today, more than we'd asked for. And it's an honor to have you join us here on the show, and for listeners to get to hear a little preview of the legislative session as well. And so thank you. We owe you one.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, and appreciate you. And everybody watch for Charlie Shield. Hopefully he'll get that article out in the next few days. And like I said, please go in, click on the link, and give me that survey. He's increased my surveys at least double from what they used to be because of his articles, and it's very, very helpful.
That's nice to hear. And again, listeners, take advantage of these. It won't be forever that our lawmakers will be able to just practically be this accessible. So take these surveys, give your opinion, share your thoughts and your top priorities. It helps them do what we task them with doing for this 45-day session. And Senator Wilson, again, really appreciate your time, and we'll speak again soon after the session if possible.
Great. And if even during the session, anything, give me a holler, and we'll try and make time for you, Jason. Thank you.
Perfect. We'll reach out.
Okay. Take care.
Appreciate your time. You as well. And for listeners, if you'd like to know more or even follow along during the session, some of Senator Wilson's work and other lawmakers from here in Cache Valley, one-stop shopping for all of this, le.utah.gov. You can stream every floor and Senate debate, most of the committee meetings, live audio and video. And you can also search lawmakers' names and see all of the bills they are sponsoring, both directly and as a floor sponsor from the other chamber. It's one of the best legislative websites in the nation. le.utah.gov. Thanks again to Senator Wilson for taking the time out of his day for us here at KVNU today, and to our listeners for being here as well. Stick around, please. KVNU's For the People returns after these headlines with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. Governor Spencer Cox and State Senator Lincoln Fillmore introducing legislation yesterday for the upcoming general session that would ban student cell phone use in public schools from the opening bell to the final dismissal. Now, the governor argued that a bell-to-bell ban is the most vital step that the state can take to improve student learning and also mental well-being. Now, the proposal follows a law last year that limited use during instructional hours, but the governor is now pushing for a stricter full-day restriction. Now, critics, including Senator Kathleen Reeby, called the move heavy-handed and raised concerns about student safety during emergencies. Now, while no specific funding was announced, State Senator Fillmore noted that schools have various options for compliance. Now, supporters have cited some schools already banning phones from bell to bell, saying that they're seeing increased attendance and also improved social interaction. Now, the bill is expected to face some heavy debate, though, when the legislative session begins later this month. And computer scientists at the University of Utah say they were able to restore a piece of digital history after discovering a 50-year-old magnetic tape in a storage closet. Now, the tape contains the Unix version 4. It's the oldest known copy of the foundational operating system that is believed to be in existence. Now, staff members say they found the artifact while cleaning out a storage closet in anticipation of a building move. Now, it was discovered alongside a letter from Ken Thompson, the software's original author, and it was addressed to renowned computer scientist Martin Newell. Now, researchers say they collaborated with the Computer History Museum in California to safely extract the data. Professor Robert Reese said that it took a while to realize that they had the oldest one now in existence. And Utah consumer sentiment rose to 79.9 in December. That's up from 75.8 in November, according to the latest Zions Bank Consumer Sentiment Survey that was released yesterday. Now, the 5.4% monthly increase suggests a slight uptick in optimism, though economists noted that the change is not statistically significant. Now, national trends have showed a similar pattern, with the University of Michigan reporting a 3.7% increase in sentiment among all Americans in December. Now, despite the recent two-month climb, Utah's sentiment still remains about 12.5% lower than it was at this time last year. Well, we've had some clouds and even some snow continuing to fall this afternoon, but this storm is going to move out of the area now, and that's going to leave us with cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures dropping into the mid-teens, and then tomorrow, some sunshine with temperatures getting into the low 30s. And it looks like Saturday into Sunday, we'll see some more sunshine coming with temperatures getting into the mid to high 30s, low 40s by Monday of next week. And weather brought to you by Mountain Valley Heating. From northern Utah to southern Idaho, they can take care of heating, cooling, and also maintenance for your furnace and air conditioning units. Call Mountain Valley Heating at 753-5170. And I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packard. 2 people hospitalized after being shot by federal agents in Portland, Oregon this afternoon. Emergency dispatcher audio from Broadcastify.
We have a male who was shot twice in the arm and his wife who was shot in the chest.
ABC's Alex Stone has the latest.
The FBI is responding right now that they will be the ones investigating this, that it was a shooting involving federal agents from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE, in the Portland area, and that there was a man and a woman, we're told, who were shot.
This as tensions rise in Minneapolis. Protesters clashing with law enforcement after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman inside a moving car. Hundreds of demonstrators taking to the streets now for a second day, condemning the killing of Renee Nicole Good. The House voted this afternoon to pass a 3-year extension of health care credits that Congress let expire at the end of the year, but the legislation now heads to the Senate, where its fate is uncertain. This is ABC News.
A new year doesn't ask us to become someone else. It invites us to come home to ourselves. At Bell Sculpt, we know real change isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring confidence after life has done its work. If 2025 stretched you, shaped you, or asked more of you than you expected, let 2026 be the year you choose you. To celebrate the new year, enjoy 26% off of all Bell Sculpt procedures. Our way of honoring your courage to begin again. To find a clinic near you, go to bellsculpt.fm. Bell Sculpt. Love the skin you're in.
Here's what some of our patients have to say about how Red River has changed their lives.
I went the traditional medicine route, and it was not tailored to me. It was just a one-size-fits-all. It was, this is how you do the program, and it's probably not going to work. That's what everybody always told me along the way, and somebody told me about Red River. They brought me in, they did testing, and everything was catered to my body and what I was actually experiencing, which was incredible.
At Red River Health and Wellness, our whole goal is to identify the underlying mechanisms driving your condition. Once we identify those imbalances, then we'll put a treatment plan together that's specific to you, and then we improve those imbalances one by one, and then slowly teach you and educate you and show you what to do and what not to do so that you're the expert in your own health long term.
I'll never forget the day I woke up and I went about my day and I stopped and I said, I feel completely normal. It really, truly not only helped me save my thyroid, but it gave me my life back.
Call Red River Health and Wellness at 855-55-RIVER.
Call Red River today.
Betty, why are you packing your house up?
I'm ready to move. My home is so boring. There's no color on the walls, no pop.
I have the answer. Go see Castolite in Logan. They have several products to make your walls stand out. I just finished a wall with their Speedy Mason system. It was so easy and looks amazing.
Does this sound familiar to you? Refresh your home with affordable options at Castolite for brick, block, rock, paver, and tile. Go where the pros go. Online at Castolite.com.
We start each new year filled with hope and prosperity for things to come. At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, it's no different. Dr. Daines is so grateful to get to call Cache Valley home and continue to offer his services to the wonderful people that live in our beautiful valley. He wants to help you start your new year off right by improving your hearing, which over the course of time will help improve your quality of life. Give them a call at 435-753-4327 or 753-HERE to schedule an appointment, or you can visit them online at CacheValleyHearing.com.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Water getting inside your home? Driveway cracking? Your deck need cleaning or sealing? Hey, Gary Sullivan here from At Home with Gary Sullivan. I can help you with those home improvement projects each weekend right here. In fact, we'll take your calls about your home issues and give you solutions. We'll tell you how to fix it, what to use, and where to get it. We'll also have expert guests to help you with your projects. Hope you can join us this weekend right here on At Home with Gary Sullivan.
Saturday nights at 7 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sunday mornings were your favorite. I used to meet you down on Woods Creek Road.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Thanks again to State Senator Chris Wilson. I wasn't joking when I told Senator Wilson during that interview that I feel bad. To be courteous and respectful to people's time, I always say, can we get 10, 15 minutes of your time? Whenever you're available this week, and then I do my best to try and accommodate, when they're available, even if it's sometimes having to pre-record with them before the show so that we can air it during the show that day. We'll make arrangements. And then what inevitably happens is the conversation gets interesting. Both the guest and I get into it, and hopefully listeners as well. And then the next thing you know, it's been half an hour, and you'd only asked for 10 minutes. Well, that happened again today. If you're just tuning in, you missed it live, but you can still hear it via the podcast. Subscribe to KVN News for the People in your podcast app of choice. You can listen on demand at kvnutalk.com. There's really no excuse for missing an episode, and there will be a test one day. I love these segments that were listener suggested. And so we invited Senator Wilson on today because the listener said, I mentioned he'd been appointed to Majority Whip in the state Senate, and listener wanted to know what that meant. Like, what does a state Senate Majority Whip do? And a lot. I'll tell you. So, one example of something that will likely happen to Senator Wilson during the session, and I only know about this because I used to be good friends with, I don't think they have this position anymore, but it was called Chief Deputy or Deputy Chief of Staff, or I can't remember now. I think it was Chief Deputy, Rick Cantrell, who worked in the Attorney General's office for quite some time and now is I think, representing as a spokesperson a water district in central Utah, but long time figure in Utah public policy, and probably one of the best people I think I've ever met when it comes to sincerely wanting to engage the public with the process. And Rick would sometimes let us into on the floor, back in the lounge even. The rules were that you couldn't, I couldn't stand there with a recorder, and as senators came off the floor, shove it in their face and ask for a remark. But we were able to kind of sit there and if they invited a conversation, sit and chat with them, which, media doesn't usually get to do. And, of course, for security reasons, the rules are very different these days. 10 years later, you would never be allowed to do this now for the safety of the state senators themselves, honestly, and staff there on the Hill. But at the time, it was a little more relaxed. And, it was I got to see what a majority whip does in a crisis. So there was a bill that was a priority for leadership. I think it was a tax bill. And it needed to pass because it was, if I remember correctly, it was part of a larger package. Well, word got around that there were enough Republicans thinking of voting no that this bill might not pass. And then Senate President Wayne Niederhauser came off the floor, came around, was looking for a person, found the person. It was the then Majority Whip, and said, that bill, right now that bill doesn't have the votes. Fix this. And the Majority Whip spent the rest of his afternoon going out and on the floor or off the floor talking individually with each one of the senators planning to vote no, and asking them what their concerns were. Is there something we can change in the bill that would get you on board? And it turns out there was one simple change that they were able to make that got all the Republicans on board and half the Democrats, and the bill passed. That's what the majority whip does. But it was chaos for a few minutes when the Senate president said, this bill isn't going to pass. It has to pass. It's part of an overall tax reform package. And it was craziness for a while. So that's what Senator Wilson will probably be doing a lot of during the session, as well as promoting and trying to whip votes individually for his own bills, which every senator has to do. He's going to be a busy guy. All right. Outside of the legislative session, we are entering an election year. Yay, right? Municipal elections were pretty calm. I don't know if that's going to be the case in 2026. But here locally, we finally have a tally of candidates with one asterisk. There is one pending candidate, and I'm not sure exactly what that means because I've never seen that before on a candidate list. But with the filing period officially done 48 minutes ago, in fact. So if you're planning to run for, say, state house or county council and you were going to file and just hadn't got around to it, I'm sorry, you missed the window 48 minutes ago. But with that in mind, here's who we have. So for the county attorney position, as you heard during the news break there, and Charlie Schill has a full story on this at CashValleyDaily.com. The current county attorney, Taylor Sorensen, is bowing out of running for re-election. And that was unexpected. Well, I mean, to us. Maybe people within the county attorney's office knew, but he made the announcement this week. Said it's been a privilege to serve in this capacity for a time. I look forward to returning to private life and continuing to serve Cache County in the midst of my fellow citizens. He was, in his announcement, he said, of course, he's going to fulfill the remainder of his duties for the indefinite remainder of his tenure in office, and said he'll make sure the transition is smooth. But he said he made the decision after to not seek re-election this year to a full term. Remember, he was elected in a special. Said he made that decision after consideration and lengthy discussions with his family. So he made that announcement just 3 days before the deadline, which was today at 5 o'clock. And at the time when he made the announcement, only one other person had already filed, which was J. Brett Chambers with local law firm Harris Preston Chambers, LLC. And this is changed. So according to the Cache County Clerk's website, the 2026 declared candidates list, there are now 3 individuals running as Republicans. This is a partisan race. Running as Republican. Remember, last year was municipal races. Everything's nonpartisan. Not this year. Running 3 Republicans running for county attorney in this race, in which, as of the announcement on Monday, we'll have no incumbent. And those are, as I mentioned, J. Brett Chambers, Dane Murray, and Chris Daines. Those are the 3 names who have filed in this race, all 3 running as Republicans. The county auditor will run unopposed. Matthew Funk has filed for re-election, but no one filed to run against him. Bryson Bem, the county clerk, will have a Constitution Party challenger. So current county clerk Bryson Bem filed for re-election, will run for clerk this year for another term, and Constitution Party candidate David Gilley will challenge him in that race. For the executive, so remember George Daines was elected to replace David Zook, who left the position earlier in about mid-2025, and Daines was elected in a special election, and that special election time, filling out the remainder of the term, is up, so he will have to run for full-on re-election, and he filed and has no challengers. So George Daines filed to be reelected as county executive, and again, no challenger. Same with Cache County Sheriff Chad Jensen. He did file for reelection, and I don't know. There was speculation of him retiring, and I don't know where that came from. But no, he's filed to run for reelection and got no challengers. So for the Logan district of the county council, 2 different Logan districts of the county council, a slew of candidates. For Logan District 2, Joanne Bennett, Jeffrey Wallentyne, and Allison Goulet. For Logan District 3, on the county council, Sandy Goodlander did pick up a Democratic Party challenger, Mark Nafziger. Allison Goulet, the Democratic Party challenger, against 2 Republicans, Joanne Bennett and Jeffrey Wallentyne, for the District 2 race. For the county council District 5 race, you'll have filed here Republican candidate Mark Hurd running for re-election, the incumbent in the race, and Democratic challenger Lizette Villegas. And then in District 7, 4 candidates in that race. Incumbent Catherine Buse, the Republican candidate, second Republican candidate, newcomer Christy Tyre, and Democratic Party candidate Brianne Wheelwright, and Constitution Party candidate Peter Thatcher, all running for that County Council Southeast District 7. School District. District 2, you're going to have, these are nonpartisan races for the county school district, even in a partisan election year. So you have, for the school district, Roger Pulsifer and Aaron Ritchie running for the District 2 Cache County School Board position. District 4, you have Randall Begley and Deidre Hartwell. And District 7, you have Terry Rhodes and Melind Fawcett. And then Logan School Board, District 3, on that Logan School Board, you have Charles Ashurst and Russell Fisher for the District 3 race, and candidates Cole Checketts and Carly Fryer for the Logan School Board District 5 race. And then finally, for our State House and State Board of Education in the State House, for District 2, Republican Mike Peterson did pick up a Democratic Party challenger, Barbara Haggerty. For District 3, incumbent Republican Jason Thompson picked up a Forward Party challenger, Ben Shaw, and an unaffiliated, though his filing status shows as pending on the clerk's website. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what that means because I've never seen that before. Patrick Belmont has also filed to run against Jason Thompson in that District 3 race, though, again, his filing status shows as pending. The Forward Party candidate Ben Shaw and incumbent Jason Thompson, the Republican, show as officially filed. In State District 5 of the State House, incumbent Representative Casey Snyder, the Republican candidate, has filed for re-election. He will be challenged by a Republican named Jim Atkinson, who's also filed, and our good friend of the show here, Kendra Penry, often speaking to us, representing the League of Women Voters Logan chapter and the Stokes Nature Center. Kendra Penry has filed to run in that House race against Casey Snyder as the Democratic Party candidate. And finally, last but not least, the State Board of Education District 1 race breaks down like this. 3 Democrats have filed for that District 1 State Board of Education position. Catherine Callow-Heuser, Milo Anderson, I'm not sure which, and Curtis Benjamin. So there you have it. You can see this full list at cachecounty.gov/elections. But as of 5 o'clock today, the filing period has closed, and those are your candidates for various races from the county on up to the state legislature in 2026. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Hey, business owners, when it comes to your commercial insurance coverage, you deserve the best. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. As an independent auto owners agency, we have access to many carriers and will give you options. We work hard to protect your business because you've worked hard to build it. Let's give your insurance coverage a fresh look. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Call us today, 435-752-0101.
Are allergies affecting your day-to-day life? Intermountain Budge Clinic's Allergy and Immunology team can help. Drs. Scott Dixon and new provider Tyson Brown, the only board-certified allergists in the Valley, treat everything from seasonal and perennial allergies, asthma, food or drug reactions, hives, and more with personalized care. Don't wait for the next flare-up. Call 435-716-1820 or visit budgeclinicallergy.com to schedule your appointment. Intermountain Budge Clinic Allergy and Immunology. Breathe easier, live better.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut, take two, action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Coming up tomorrow on the show, Andy mentioned it last week on the movie show, but I just took a look and he wasn't kidding. There is so much coming out in 2026, and not just in theaters. We're looking at new seasons of the Game of Thrones first spinoff, House of Dragons on HBO, but also another Game of Thrones spinoff premiering in 2026. You've got new Marvel movies, Disney teasing the idea or the possibility of a Star Wars surprise sometime in 2026. I mean, it looks like it's shaking up to be a really big year. So tomorrow on the program, we'll try our best to run through all of it. We won't get through all of it in one show, I promise, but we'll try. And hopefully you'll join us. Andy's written a little bit about it at andyatthemovies.com. You can see that for a sneak preview of tomorrow's discussion right now. I've linked to it on our Facebook page. And, it's going to be a big year. Your moment of Zen. Send you into your evening with a smile. Check out this article I've linked on our Facebook page. But scientists studying dog vocabulary discovered that dogs learn words not by direction, but by eavesdropping. They listen to us when we're talking to others. How they've discovered this, though, is fascinating.